Is it really possible for a tiny tweak to your morning coffee routine to ignite your metabolism and put your body into full fat-burning mode for the rest of the day?
Check out the link in the video description now and transform your morning coffee into a metabolism-boosting super drink.
My name is Bryony, and I'm an alcoholic. I know. As opening gambits go, it's hardly top-notch, but I am afraid there's more. Much more. I am also, in no particular order, a reformed drug addict, a recovering bulimic with a history of binge-eating chorizo, a lifelong depressive who frequently takes her iron and hair straighteners to work for fear of house fires, and a larger lady who likes to run long distances in only her bra and knickers. Oh, and there's one more thing, I am your new male columnist. Now at this point, you might well be reaching for the smelling salts, or thinking why on earth would I want to read the words of a 43-year-old drug-addicted alcoholic with a history of eating disorders, and, hang on, did you say running in only your bra and knickers? It's a good question, one I should probably answer before I settle in and start getting too relaxed round here. This is your home, after all, and it's hardly the done thing to barge in and start shouting about alcoholism. You might think me mad. Then again, I am a bit mad, that is. I have written 2 best-selling books about my experiences with mental illness, rather aptly entitled Mad Girl and Mad Woman, and before those, there was a book called The Wrong Knickers, where I candidly explored the craziness of my 20s, which involved lots of bad sex, and not a lot of sleep. One critic described it as Bridget Jones on drugs, not a compliment, given that Bridget is entirely fictional and I am, unfortunately, entirely real. Some might say a bit too real. Then again, that realness is why you should read on. It's why you should stick around. It's why I am your new columnist. Because in a world where people filter everything, from their photographs to their thoughts, I like to tell the truth. Are you sitting uncomfortably? Then I'll begin. Like many people who experience mental health issues, I was born into a loving family who only ever wanted the best for me. I grew up in a lovely house in West London, with a friendly Labrador, an Aga, and a reliable Volvo estate. I went to a good school, had ballet lessons, minded my PS and QS. And yet, I would go to bed every night and wake up every morning in a state of terror that the world was going to end. As a young girl in the 1980s, it was going to end because of acid rain or the hole in the ozone layer, and as an almost teenager in the early 1990s, it was going to end because I had AIDS. I woke up one morning, just before the Christmas of 1992, convinced of it. No matter that I was a 12-year-old girl who had never even kissed a boy, my brain told me I had this terrible illness that was all over the news, and my brain couldn't be lying, could it? And in the unlikely event I wasn't HIV positive, then I would get it, from the air I breathed, toilet seats I sat on, or just by existing. To keep myself safe, I started washing my hands again and again until they cracked and bled. This created a new terrifying possibility, that my hands were now weapons capable of killing my little sister and baby brother via my undoubtedly tainted blood. I slept with my toothbrush under my pillow so I wouldn't infect anyone. I remember decorating the Christmas tree with my mother and thinking how awful it was that I would never do this again. My life was over before I'd even reached my 13th birthday. It wasn't until I was about 17 that I learned the illness I had was mental, not physical, that I was suffering from obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, not AIDS. But even when I knew this, rationally, I was overcome with fear. OCD is often referred to as the doubting disease, because sufferers so often question their memories and sense of self. Plus, it is so very misunderstood, and seen more as shorthand for a tidy and organized person, someone obsessed with keeping their Diet Coke cans in a neat line or their pen straight. In reality, OCD is a debilitating mental illness whereby sufferers are left in a considerable amount of distress because of their obsessions and compulsions. And mine had nothing to do with tidiness or organization. I was a mess. There was no order in my mind, only chaos. As well as the fear I had AIDS, I feared I might have killed someone, or hurt a child, but blanked it out in horror. Intrusive thoughts clouded my brain in the same way other teenagers thought about snogging, or boys. I couldn't imagine ever having a rel.